So I'm going to read a third excerpt from The Long Ride Home, and it's us in Arizona with the final healing with the Navajo, with an amazing healer called Blue Horse, who lives on the Navajo reservation deep in the desert in Arizona. And we just completed 2 days of healing, and this is the third and final part of the healing of those 3 journeys that Ghost told us that we had to do. So there was a lot riding on this for us. And we're there with somebody called Martha, who is another autism mum, who'd actually helped us arrange this and had come down with her son Will. And here we all are. Okay. Charles had told us to gather back at Blue Horses at 5 a.m. before dawn broke. It was important, he said, that the ceremony took place exactly as the first rays of the sun came over the horizon, no later. So we roused ourselves at 4:30, all of us grumbly and a little whiny. Martha and co. met us in the motel foyer, eyes puffy, faces drawn. It had been a bad night. Will had been up for much of it, being sick. Martha and Sarah, his sister, trying to keep him hydrated. But he was here now, wrapped in a blanket in Martha's arms. He smiled, the only one of us smiling. And it seemed as if dawn was breaking. So bright, so warming was that smile. But we had to hurry, so out to the vehicles we went. It was cold this early in the high desert. We were wrapped in jackets and blankets as we gathered at Blue Horses. He and Charles waiting for us in the cold darkness, torches in hand, stamping their booted feet to stay warm. In silence, they led us to the canyon's edge. We stood in a line, shoulder to shoulder in the dark, and then, suddenly, without warning, like Will's smile, the first rays of the orange sun came peeking above the eastern hills. Blue Horse began to chant in Diné, the Navajo language, saying prayers over us, blessing us. He began with Martha and Will, taking white corn pollen from a little pouch around his neck and singing as he did so, sprinkling the soft white powder over each of Martha's crew in turn. I held Rowan in front of me, dancing him a little with my thighs to help against the chill. As Blue Horse approached us, my son suddenly wailed, "Back! Go back to the car! Go back home!" And he twisted away. The final ceremony of the final healing, and he wanted to leave. "Okay," I said. I never wanted to force him. My heart was in my mouth, but I wasn't going to force him. We walked away, up the now dimly illuminated track, back towards the cars, the first orange sunlight at our backs. He had refused the healing. What did this mean? "It's okay, Scub," I said as we walked. "You don't have to do this, you know that. We'll go back to the car, no problem." And then all of a sudden he stopped. "Back," he said in a different, surer voice. "Go back to the shamans." And his hand in mine, our eyes blinking against the now sharp rays of the sun, we turned and rejoined the group, where Blue Horse, still chanting in his shaman's trance, dancing slightly as he sang his prayers, was blessing Kristen, sprinkling the white corn pollen on her head, blessing her with the prayers of his people, his spirits of the desert, of the sacred heart of the continent on which we now lived, where Rowan had been born. And then he blessed us. The pollen, weightless, flecking Rowan and my head and chest, the prayers alive around us like winged things in the rapidly dawning day. And then, as the great orb of the sun rose at last in splendour over the eastern horizon, the final part of the final healing, the end of the quest of 3 long years, 4 if you counted Mongolia, was done. We had carried out Ghost's directives, or rather the directives given him by the ancestors, the lords of the mountain, the lords of the forest, to the very letter. Diligent pilgrims, we'd done as we were bid, and now the quest was done. The rest of the book tells what happened after, and what happened after was something pretty darned extraordinary and beautiful. Again, please just join us on this adventure. thelongridehomebook.com. Like I keep saying, all of the proceeds of this book go to help autism families get services for free. We've been on this most extraordinary journey. The journey continues. I'll be on this journey for the rest of my life. I'll be on this journey beyond the grave. Anyone who is an autism parent knows exactly what I'm talking about here. We're all one tribe. We're all one family.